Golden child siblings. When did your parents' favoritism finally backfire? My older brother Cole got a car with a bow on it for his 16th birthday. I got a bus pass and a lecture about gratitude. Same parents, same house, two completely different childhoods. For years, I thought I just wasn't as lovable as he was. Then I opened the envelope my grandmother pressed into my hand the week before she died, and what was inside exposed a lie my parents had been running for 6 years. Cole was the golden child from birth. When I made honor roll 3 years running, I got a good job and a warning not to get a big head. When he barely passed, they threw him a party. The pattern was so constant, I stopped noticing it. The way you stop hearing a fridge hum. The only person who ever really saw me was my grandmother, Gran. While the whole family orbited Cole, she'd sit with me on her porch and tell me I was the one with a spine. The quiet ones end up owning the room, she'd say. When she got sick, I drove her to every appointment. Cole visited twice, both times asking if she'd sorted the estate yet. The week before she passed, she gripped my wrist and pushed a sealed envelope into my hand. "Don't open this until they tell you there's nothing left," she whispered. "Then you'll understand." I was 19 and falling apart. I tucked it inside a book and didn't look at it for 6 years. After the funeral, my parents announced Gran's estate was modest, a few $1,000s, split evenly after expenses. I got a check for $1,100 and felt guilty for even wondering if that was all. Life moved on, and Cole kept needing rescuing. His first business folded, and they quietly covered the $18,000 he owed. He wrecked the birthday car driving drunk, so they bought him another. When he ran up a fortune in Vegas, they loaned him $25,000 he'd never repay. Meanwhile, I asked once for $4,000 toward a grad school deposit. They sat me down and said, "We just don't have it. Gran didn't leave us much." You understand. That sentence broke something loose. Gran didn't leave us much. I was 25 now. That night, I pulled the book off my shelf and tore the envelope open. Inside was a letter in Gran's handwriting and a folded document. The letter named a law firm I'd never heard of and an attorney, Ms. Halloran. "I didn't trust your parents with this," she wrote, "so I went around them. What's yours is yours. Make them prove they spent it well." The folded document was a copy of her will. Gran hadn't left a modest estate. She'd left $240,000, almost all of it to me, in a trust my parents were supposed to manage until I turned 25 and hand over. Instead, for 6 years, they'd drained it. Every dollar they swore Gran didn't leave had been mine, funneled straight into Cole while they told me to take out loans. I didn't say a word to them. I called Ms. Halloran the next morning, and she went quiet when I told her what I'd been told the estate was worth. Over 2 months, I pulled every bank record I was entitled to. Every withdrawal from my trust lined up, almost to the day, with one of Cole's disasters. Halloran said I could recover all of it with interest and hold my parents personally liable for breaching their duty. Then she asked when I wanted to file. I told her to wait. I had one thing to do first. 3 weeks later was Cole's engagement party. 40 people in the backyard, including a few of Gran's old friends. Cole was holding court, and I waited until the toasts. When the moment came, I tapped my glass. My mother smiled, surprised I'd speak at all. "I want to talk about Gran," I said, and the yard went quiet. She left me something to read out loud. I read her letter, every word, ending on "make them prove they spent it well." Then I held up the will. Gran left me $240,000 in trust, and my parents spent every cent of it on Cole, the car, the business, Vegas. Every time they swore there was nothing left, while I begged them for loans. The yard went dead silent. My mother's glass slipped and shattered on the patio. My father started to say my name. That's when I nodded to the woman by the back gate. "This is Ms. Halloran, Gran's attorney. The paperwork to recover every cent with interest was filed this morning." Cole's fiancé quietly asked him what I meant. He had no answer. My aunt, Gran's daughter, crossed the lawn and stood beside me, and 2 of the cousins followed. I folded the letter back into my pocket while my parents stood frozen in front of everyone they'd spent years performing for. "Gran always told me the quiet ones end up owning the room," I said. Turns out she was right.